for having me again.
1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stealthy Elf Productions. We are going to play a little bit of Pathfinder 2nd Edition tonight. This is part of our Heroes of Histaeria campaign series. This is our Unearthed Inheritance campaign, and then some. Guys, you might notice we got an extra face. Let's dive into introductions, and let's start with the man himself.
I don't know how I got here. Genuinely, I don't know. What's up, everybody? My name is Adam, otherwise known as Mr. Adup. That's MRADDUP. You can find me on the internet under that name. I cosplay, I voice act, I play TTRPGs. You can also find me over on Tales Archive in different things. I don't know what's happening anymore. I'm in different things on your channel. Don't act like that. You can find me in the chat because I'm usually there. Let's be 100. Don't laugh at me right now. I haven't done this in a while.
Played last night.
Button, save him.
We didn't know.
Or something.
I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media. When I'm not here, you can find me over on Tales Archived, also in the chat, but in the Known Realms Kalesh campaign, where I play Echinacea Belrose, a stressed little wizard. Alec.
Hannah.
Where can we find you, Alec?
What?
Hi, everybody. Have you guys heard of Tales Archive? People are talking about it. I've never
talked about this
before.
Tales Archive.
Never heard of it.
At least I didn't say the wrong name. At least I didn't say the wrong name. That's all I'm going to give myself.
Guys, my name is Alec. Pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at CommunityDM.
I was going to do it. You took my bit.
Tales Archived. I play Finn Reese here, and I am the Archivist for Known Realms Kalesh over on Tales Archive. Hannah.
Oh, me. Hi, it's me. I'm Hannah. I'm playing, almost said Pamenia Knackle. Nope. I am playing Farron Balmyar, not Farron Barnyard. Farron Balmyar. Although I am a farmsteader.
Did we all huff chemicals before we decided to go
Something like that.
I don't know what
yeah.
we did. I don't remember.
I did stand in an enclosed room earlier with bug spray, so.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I think we got your second hand or something. So you can find me here playing Farron, or on the other campaign, Sansi Saga, playing Panini and Knackle, and possibly some stuff over on Tales Archive someday.
Actually, no. You can find Hannah on Tales Archived.
Oh yeah, I've been on Tales Archive. Yeah. God damn it. We already lost our guest.
That's okay. We brought in an extra, so we're even now. Guys,
I quit.
No.
I'm going to be your
David,
GM.
who are you?
My name is David, and my pronouns are he, him. And you can catch me here as the game master of Unearthed Inheritance and Sansi Saga. And then you can also catch me over at CommunityDM, where in the Known Realms Kalesh campaign, where I play Whistle, the Hobgoblin Fighter. And yeah.
I can't get over Hannah being like, maybe one day I'll be on Tales Archive.
Hey, you know what I was referring to, right?
I know what you meant.
No, are you on something that's coming up? That's crazy.
Yes, but that's not the point.
I've been on Tales Archive before.
I've been on Tales Archive before. Can you show hands? Tales Archived? Tales Archive alum? See,
Yeah,
we've all been on
Thistle.
Tales Archive before.
I played
Tales
Thistle,
Archive, they're friends.
I'm just going to
Thistle.
mention...
older brother of Whistle.
Yeah. Thistle.
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 Thistle my
Thistle.
whistle.
Thistle my whistle. Okay. But we are going to play some Pathfinder 2nd Edition for you guys. Tonight is going to be a good one. All right. Guys, how you feeling? Should we hop in?
Yeah.
I don't know where I am even.
Let's just hop back over to Tales Archive.
That's a loaded question.
All right. I hear that I might be on there at some point.
Someday.
Okay, Alec, I got you. At our last session, we returned to the aftermath of the fight against the Marsh Giant. We saw Finn wrestle with the draconic power imprisoned within him. We saw a glimpse of what can happen to those subjected to its wrath. As tensions settled and blood cooled, Crest tended to the wounds of the party. That was when we learned that some hurts suffered were more than skin deep. Upon learning that Finn and Anatole are both vessels of draconic spirits, Crest seemed more determined than ever to reunite with their long-lost ally, and now proclaimed king of the Sand Sea. Amidst these revelations, Farron set free a fading fox that had been trapped by the marsh giant and salvaged what she could from its camp. And thus we departed the ruins and left the marsh giant to the bloodflies its own habits invited. The search for Chimney, the kobold companion of Zin and scout of Anatole, continued and brought our party to mist-laden swamps. After learning of the presence of a Misteel flood, which would cause their magic to become unpredictable, our party opted to navigate the swamp in a chain of people, holding hands and relying on Tolka's keen senses to lead the way. The mists held another surprise for us, as it appeared that it affected memories. It forced you to relive moments with cherished loved ones in a world now washed away. After an emotional journey, the first step to sparing Damaril from Anatole's wrath was achieved. Beyond the mists, you finally caught up to Ignatius Redwing, affectionately known as Chimney. And now, as our party ventures ever closer toward the cloud giant fortress in which the King of the Sandsea is said to dwell, it seems that the distance between us widens. So let's see what happens next. You guys are coming up from the valley. You guys have been kind of walking along the path for a few more hours. You had a little bit of time left in the day. You make your way up a switchback through the remains of the forest, and you find yourself kind of cresting up towards the ridge line, where you kind of expect, that's going to be the coast northwards of your current position. As you kind of just break the tree line up ahead, you see a ruined farmhouse. As you climb the slope, you can see the remnants of fence posts leaning over as they were, swept away by the seas. The house, the barn, and perhaps some now departed third building seem to kind of create like a semicircle around a overturned and uprooted tree. The barn's backside was kind of pushed inwards in a landslide, so it looks like the barn's kind of sitting on a mound. And the farmhouse itself, the main house though, seems mostly intact, minus some significant exterior damage. You guys are playing a drinking game, you sons of bitches.
No, Alec just told us to hydrate.
Alec told us. I thought this was a drinking game. I thought you guys were doing a bit where I misspoke, because I know you've done.
We're misbehaving.
Now it definitely is.
They did one whenever I said centaur. Centaur.
Oh,
Senator.
No.
Whenever I said centaur, they'd drink.
Yeah, Senator Centaur.
Senator Centaur.
Senator.
Harry, you did it.
Oh, okay. Broken buildings, broken farmhouses. That's where you guys are coming up on. All right. Looks like it's fairly late in the day. As far as potential shelters go, this seems serviceable. The house is dilapidated, and the front of it is completely defaced. Due to the landslides, as you approach it, it kind of has like a lean where it kind of looms over you a little bit. But despite the sag and the broken windows, looks mostly intact. What do you guys think? How are you feeling?
I think Farron will start scoping this building out.
Sure.
To see if it's safe.
Okay. All right, Farron, you're going to kind of start making your way around the building, checking out if it's safe. Cress, what are you up to?
I think Cress will assist Farron.
Perfect. Okay.
Give the aid action.
Okay.
Good.
Gonna get to you two in just a moment as you guys kind of like make your way around the house. Chimney, similar to you guys, is gonna go check out the barn, right, and kind of ropes us in along for the mission. Finn, when we ended the last session, you were in your head about some stuff. You were contemplating Farron's words, and I think you were kind of lagging behind the group a little bit as Cress and Chimney and Zin kind of shared stories of mutual friends Farron and Tulka seemed in their element and in their own world a little bit. And Finn, as you kind of hang back, you're just kind of standing by the tree as the other four kind of disperse. You're the only one that notices, over in the pasture, closer to the tree line where you guys had just emerged from, Tulka. Tulka's kind of sniffing the ground, and then kind of picks up the head, and you can see Tulka kind of goes to alert. See the heckles on the back kind of rising, the tail high, and Tulka takes off towards the woods.
Shit. Everyone is gone at this point, correct?
Yeah. Cress
Like
and...
okay.
Mhm.
Fuck. I don't want to like scream and alert. I'm gonna Tulka. Tulka. I'll start moving after her.
You move after Tulka, calling after her, and you have that moment that a lot of like frustrated dog owners have, where you're trying to call your dog back without making a scene, and the dog is just blowing you off.
Like, I'm like, no, that makes sense. Okay. I think there's like an attempt to kind of stay low to the ground and move like stealthily, but I think seeing, because like Tulka, if I'm understanding correctly, she is booking it.
Yeah, you can see, it seems like she's tracking something, right? Like the nose is to the ground, heads up, dipping in and out of trees. Yeah,
he's just like, Tulka, what do you see? Farron's up there. She's not down here. What do you... And he starts running after her. I think the very perfect, like, frustrated dog owner just like, oh, fuck, come on. Like, you just imagine, like, scooping her up and like, come on, we gotta go back. What are you doing? To this, ancient wolf that could probably kill him if she wanted to.
And sure enough, Tulka, an ancient wolf, well adept at moving through a forest, takes off, kind of slinking underneath branches, past trees, and Finn, you're kind of moving along, just staying low.
Yeah.
And as you have the thought of, getting up there and kind of scooping her up and taking her back home, you pass into a clearing. And I say a clearing, when I say clearing, it's a kind of a loose term. Maybe it was a proper clearing now. Right now, a lot of trees have kind of been pushed over, and they're all kind of like crisscrossed and leaning over each other. And you do see Tulka. And you see Tulka in the hands and perhaps tail of another, as Tulka is being held aloft by an individual. Adam, if you could please describe the individual who holds Tulka.
I think in this moment you see a large great ape-like figure who is partially humanoid, partially ape, but he is probably surprisingly able to scoop Tulka up in one arm and is just petting the entire head with his other hand. And he's kind of hunched over, so it's hard to get an accurate reading on like true height, but at this point he's probably about 5'5" because he's so hunched down, and it looks like there is a staff planted in the ground next to him, and he has another what looks to be a staff on his back made of metal. He's draped in a cloak of furs and some interesting robes that, as you look at them, they kind of reflect a little bit hints of metal, almost sewed into the robes themselves.
Does that metal look familiar?
Oh yeah, that metal looks
Ironwood?
familiar. Yeah, definitely. You definitely can recognize ironwood.
Announcing myself here, Finn Reese. That's my friend's companion.
You know Farron?
I know Farron. You know Farron.
Taruk. I will say, Finn, if you just want to give Taruk a little bit of a description of yourself.
So what Taruk would see is pointing. Spider-Man
memeing.
You know Farron? I'm Farron. You know Farron? You see, fully standing upright, hands up, A Jotunblood individual, this kind of slate gray skin tone, wearing this really dinged up mix of leather with some chain armor, a red capelet around his shoulders, an owl insignia on a belt. You see runic tattoos down the arms, long black hair that is kind of in a... at this point, it's fully down. I don't think he managed to put it back up yet. You see one curled back blue draconic horn and a much smaller, newer one with scales going under the pupilless white eyes of Finn. And under the left eye is a tattoo that has been branded to him recently. And I would say Taruk would see an ironwood axe on his side.
Taruk.
Oh, yeah.
Something that your character also kind of notices as you see Finn. Finn, even though you project outwardly announcing yourself and you're approaching very correct, you are still, unfortunately, cursed. So, despite your passive demeanor as you approach, there's something about you that Taruk that just seems threatening about the man.
Yeah, I think Taruk, even though you just said you know Farron, you see as he kind of turns and puts Tolka behind him and goes to reach back for a metal staff that you can, I think, clearly tell there is a wood staff and it looks like it has been stripped of the iron out of it somehow, and a full iron staff that he is pulling off of his back as he looks at you and is like clearly about to square up with you, even though you've just said that you know his friend.
I've been cursed, I believe, by an aboleth.
Right.
Kind of slowly move. Likely story.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And then I've been cursed by a god.
You can advance on me, I will not fight you.
So why did I find Tolka alone if you're a friend of Farron's?
Because I imagine she caught the scent of something familiar. You.
That actually makes sense, but where's Farron then? You would have told Farron. And he's like pointing the staff like at you, like, where's Farron?
Last I saw Farron, she was up the hill, looking at a dilapidated barn. We're with other people, other friendly individuals. You can keep your weapon trained on me. You can keep Tolka at your side.
Well, that was going to happen either way, because Tolka loves me.
Great. So, even better. If it makes you feel better, you can take the weapon off my hip. Once you see that Farron is safe, I would ask for it back.
No, I'm not going to take your weapon, because I would kill you even with it. Now, you can lead me to this friendly camp, wherever that may be.
No, I didn't say friendly camp. I said dilapidated farm. We're unsure if there are any adversaries there. But let's go. Finn's walking. His hand sort of traces his face. I need to get this fucking thing removed.
And I think when Taruk walks, you would immediately see he is walking on one hand and using the staff that he is clearly carrying as a weapon, which is weird, in the other hand, and he's actually using it as like a full walking stick as he's going with one hand. And he is, again, very hunched over, akin to Beast from X-Men, how Beast
Very
walks.
cool.
Very much like that.
Hero point. Sorry.
Which is a good reminder, though, guys. Don't forget your starting hero point.
That's what that was.
Yeah, it was your reminder for everybody to take your starting hero point.
That's exactly what that was.
That's what it was.
Add a markdown too.
Okay, I will.
I'm joking.
I'm joking too. But yeah, I think he follows you and is very like eyes on you, darting to Tolka to see if Tolka's reacting in any way. Also, while he's following.
Tolka is very excited to see you. When Tolka found you in the woods just now, Taruk, I mean, kind of raced up straight to you. You kind of heard something kind of moving in the bush. You turned over, and then there's this giant white wolf bounding towards you as she kind of ran over and kind of like paused up at you, kind of looking at your face, tails wagging wildly, kind of ears pinned down. And as you kind of scooped her up, I mean, she's still quite excited to see you, right? But you can kind of sense she's, like Alex said, a fairly ancient, very wise wolf, right? And Tolka is also kind of aware that there's a little bit of tension here, and the ears are pinned down, right? And the tail is just kind of like hanging in neutral. It's not tucked, right?
Yeah.
But I would say you can tell that Tolka is uncomfortable with Finn's curse. Yeah, I don't know if you maybe assume you can roll sense motive, I would say, if you want to try to identify the source of that discomfort. So it'll be a perception check for your first roll of the campaign.
We did it, guys. I'd like to thank my mom.
I would also like to thank your mom. She always offers to make us cookies.
Oh.
You said a perception check?
Perception check, yep.
26.
26 is really good. I'm also giving you a little bonus mentally because you know Tolka. The source of Tolka's anxiety you can successfully identify is the tension between yourself and Finn. Not directed at Finn. I think initially maybe there's a little bit of that impression, but as you're walking, you can see as Tolka kind of glances towards Finn and kind of gives like a little bit of a slow wag, right? Glances back towards you, gives a little bit of a slow wag.
Gotcha.
You know, kind of passes between you, starts kind of licking the lips and like maybe scratching the ground a little bit, but Tolka seems comfortable at least with Finn.
Okay, I think as Taruk realizes that, he is. I think Finn would catch. You see him put the other staff away, so he doesn't have staff, and he's just walking on his knuckles at this point. He still hasn't like fully given you the green light, but he's like, I'm not gonna just punch you in the back.
Yeah, I think Finn's keeping, like, he's not changing the way he's operating. His hands are up at his side, and he's just walking forward, praying to God that everybody's nearby.
Praying to God that you didn't get lost on the way here.
Could you imagine?
Speaking
This guy's
of
gonna
everybody,
fucking murder me.
Speaking of everybody, the two, Cress and Farron, the two of you kind of began searching around the farmhouse. Go ahead, let's have you roll. If you're kind of assessing the house, I would allow crafting if you are proficient, or at least trained. If you would rather it be more of a just kind of general scan of the house, the rules do say perception would be the roll, so I wouldn't argue you if you wanted to use that instead.
What about...
The rules didn't say anything about that, though. Sorry, I'm just...
Listen, I'm the farmsteader.
Oh,
what
shit!
What about lore farming?
100%.
To like,
That's what it's made
right?
for, actually. I'm pretty sure Paizo wrote down in the rules.
Did you give me this barnyard as a gift?
Yeah, of course I did.
Okay.
So in my attempt to aid, I was looking at perception and crafting. Perception is better.
Okay.
And I don't think they're looking at the, like, structural integrity, so I am going to go with perception. I think
Sure.
they're looking for threats.
Sure, absolutely.
So Cress got a 22.
22. Okay. That, I know you were thinking of doing it as an aid, but I'm happy to give you kind of like your own thing for the perception, right? Because you were looking for threats specifically. We can say Farron was kind of like assessing the structure, right? Farron being a barnyard aficionado.
Love me a barnyard.
Never saw a barnyard that I didn't lore. What's your... What did you get, Farron?
21 total.
21 total. Okay. 21 tracks because, I mean, it's not so much you as much as it is this place. It is broken up and beaten up. It does look like the core frame of the building is still intact. But certainly this is, maybe like, I wouldn't put it against a storm. I would, if it was bad weather out, maybe not. but at least for
Okay.
the night, just shelter should work. Cress, you're scanning for threats, just kind of making sure that this is a safe place to rest, right? You're kind of, as you're moving through, you're checking to see the dirt. Has anyone been here? Has anyone passed through, right? Anything that maybe arrived and didn't leave, kind of thing. You're keeping a keen ear out. And with a 22, you can assess that for the most part, this seems like a fairly safe place. Kind of actually fairly defensible, given that there's a good bit of pasture. Where your vision gets obstructed would be the tree line that you guys emerged from. And actually, as you kind of scan there, you start to see maybe the shape of Finn kind of appearing at the edge of the trees as he's walking out. You can see his hands raised. Behind him, you see another figure, an unfamiliar figure, lumbering along, moving on the four hands. And you see Tulka. Tulka kind of wrapped up in that person's looks like a tail. You can kind of see like kind of Tulka held closely, right? But from silhouette, maybe with a 22, I'd say yeah, you can tell it's a tail.
Aaron, someone's got your
Yes.
dog.
What?
Someone's got your dog.
She whips around, draws her bow, and looks for whatever you're talking about.
Cress can point it out as a free. Yeah.
Yeah, and Finn's got his hands up.
This is a friend. Taruk!
I think upon seeing that, I think Finn only would only hear this just because it's a holy shit, he wasn't lying. Okay then, sorry about that, and runs past you and just scoops up Farron in like an arm, and it's just like the tightest hug of like, Farron, I can't, oh God's across this path, this is great, okay, yes,
can't believe you're
sorry
alive.
about that again, friend, yes, I'm still alive, what does that mean? Of course I'm still alive. Why would I not be alive? I'm very good at what I do.
Just saying, we're in an apocalypse situation. It was not a dig at your survivability.
That's valid.
I'm just pleased.
Right, give me one moment, Farron, and turns. Sorry, about that. Just had to be cautious because again, you just saw my friend's dog was with you. Thought you know how it is, right? Right.
No harm done.
Okay, great. So,
So,
what are you all
allow me to
doing?
introduce you all.
Yes,
This is Taruk. Taruk is a good friend of mine from the Ironwood, and this is Cressida and Finn Reese.
Wonderful to meet you, Elder Taruk. Yes, that's me.
Elder.
Yes, it's how do I explain this? It's a title in my village.
You're one of the three of the Ironwood.
I mean, I'm from the Iron. Yes.
So you know Sage Elder.
Would I know who Sage Elder?
You'd know of Sage Elda, but you know that Sage Elda is the sage of a town called Ironwood versus
okay,
the
yeah,
region
I think-
called Ironwood. You start to
Oh, no. Well, yes, I do, but no, I don't, because I'm not from the town Ironwood. I'm from the actual Ironwood. Does that make sense?
Yes, I understand.
I don't know why they'd name a city after where a wood
It's
is.
a New
That's
York issue.
It's a very
Yeah.
confusing thing. It's very stupid. I don't. Do people call it the Ironwood and the Ironwood? That's crazy.
No, they do. They actually specifically do. Yeah.
There's
Oh.
T-shirts saying with I heart IW.
I was in the
Now-
Ironwood in the Ironwood.
It's good to meet you, Taruk. Thank you for not introducing me to the blunt end of your staffs.
Of course.
Oh.
Again, sorry for the threat.
Yes, that could have gone differently, I'm sure.
No harm.
So what brings you to this area? So we're like in Dameril, or like
Mhm.
heading
You guys are
around Dameril.
Yeah, you guys are in the like area surrounding Dameril. So you're outside of like the main town, but you're no longer in like the heart of town. So you're in like a farmhouse that was kind of, in like a rustic farmhouse away from the town.
Yeah. So what brings you here?
Well, Sydney and Wit were taken by, well, during the chaos of everything, goblins decided to just do a little fun raiding party, and they took Sydney and Wit. I made the decision there and then that as the elder in charge, I needed to get 2 of our most prevalent leaders back into the city.
They were taken out here.
To the best of my knowledge, I was following an airship, so...
In an airship.
What
Mhm.
ship? Describe it.
But a ship that's in the air. That's I think that's a pretty apt description. I haven't really seen a lot of airships, so I
So
don't
it's a
know
goblin
how to
airship.
I
It's a
would
goblin.
assume so, because goblins were the ones. Is that how that? We don't have airships in the Ironwood. I don't know how this works. So, if I'm being honest, sure.
Well,
they
there's
have
lots of different kinds of airships. What was keeping it afloat? Were there balloons? Were there crystals? Do you remember?
I think everybody here sees Taruk fully like, I don't know what you want from me.
That's
I
okay.
don't know how to answer that, Farron. I
Did
just
they
saw a
wear
ship.
any heraldry of the conquering host?
I don't know what you want from me. Like fully just like I don't know how to
Don't
answer
worry.
that. I don't mean
Don't
to
worry, we will find them. Don't worry.
What trail are you following then? I think is the next logical question.
be. Well, I saw which direction they went in, and I followed that direction. That's kind of what I've been doing.
So they were going when you point to show us which direction, is that towards the Ironwood?
It would be north.
North, okay.
Yeah.
Away from the Ironwood.
So are they above table in the direction that Taruk is pointing? Is that closer to where we're headed, or is that in like a
Yeah, kind
different
of.
direction?
It is kind of close to where you're headed, because you guys were kind of making your way up the hill, which also happens to be north. But you guys are now a bit further west than the town itself, right? So you're making your way up towards like a coast. Taruk, you don't know this, but in about a mile or 2, your trail is going to be dead because you're going to hit the coast.
Yep.
Is he pointing toward the Temple of Damara?
Roughly in that sort of general direction, yeah, because that is also in this general northern direction from your current. You're more like northeast is from your current position, but yeah.
Got it.
Right. All right, so there's a chance that the people you're looking for have been taken by the Axiomites. But maybe the conquering host is out here making some mistakes. Or maybe it's somebody else, I don't know.
Your name is Cress, right?
Yeah.
Saying that. I have
Yeah,
no
you got
clue
it.
what the words that you just said were. If I'm being 110 with you, I have no clue what any of that meant.
All right, they may have been taken by the people who caused the apocalypse. Or they
what
may
the
have been
fuck?
taken by the people attempting to gain off the apocalypse.
I'm gonna probably
Axiomites
say
are
the
the
second.
former. Yes,
Oh,
and
okay,
Conquering
yeah.
Host is the latter, yes.
I'm gonna probably say the second because these goblins decided to move in after the waves crashed through and Wit and I did our thing.
They could be, from our experience, ensorcelled by these Axiomites. We came from Dameril, where a vast collection of the fishfolk community is following them as religious figures.
Right. And what's a Dameril? Just wondering what that meant.
City up the way. So this is all new.
Yeah, I've never been outside of the Ironwoods themselves, really.
No, we gathered.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, I can guide you guys around the Ironwoods like the back of my hand out
Yeah,
here. Completely
Tell
new.
me, why did you decide to go on your own?
Wit is my best friend, and Sydney is the person that I love, and I have yet to tell her directly, and that
Oh.
is my fault, so I'm going to fix that.
You sweet man. Well, we happen to be heading in that direction as well. Let's travel
Right.
together
Sure,
for as long
absolutely.
as it makes sense to do so.
It'd be nice to have company. That big desert sucked for a long time. There was nothing around for like days. Like,
Yeah, did you cross
it's-
it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any giant worm sightings?
Giant what the fuck? Probably,
As far
I
as-
don't know. I kind of just went as fast as I could.
Well, it's good news that, I mean, you didn't get eaten, so that's great. That was our biggest concern.
Now it's a big concern for me because I have to go back through it to get back home.
Better to know than to not.
Now you know what to look for.
Apparently
well-
fucking giant worms. All right, great.
At least barn here seems to be in good enough condition for us to take shelter within. Shall we sit?
Sure.
Can
Are we
Cuthbert
doing-
fit into this dilapidated farm?
I was actually going to mention Taruk.
Mm-hmm.
As Crest starts to kind of assess the doorway, you can see something kind of shift in the shadow of that broken tree, the upturned tree. You hadn't noticed because he wasn't moving before, as he was just kind of taking it all in. But you see emerging from underneath it a creature of myth, a creature of ancient legend. Even in Salos, you guys heard about dragons. But your people have not seen. They are thought to be myth, right? No one has really seen a dragon in a long time. As a golden dragon just kind of emerges out from underneath the tree, the wings kind of spread out as Cuthbert stretches, and I mean these things span a good 20 feet, and the first set of wings unfurls, as you can see now that in the sunset, in the twilight. Taruk, just so you know, it has been permanently twilight for a very long time, right? And you see Cuthbert's wings extend and kind of catch the twilight, these kind of teal beta fish-like patterns kind of stretched across the membrane. And then a second set of wings emerges, as Cuthbert technically has 4 wings, similar to that of a dragonfly. These big green emerald eyes kind of bear down upon you. They sparkle even in the fading light. And there's just the presence, the majesty of a creature like this looking down at you. And you hear in your mind, "Hello."
What the fuck? Okay, hello. You are a mythical being, and apparently friends with my friend, and new friends, I assume. Hopefully, we could be that. Anyway, hello, big dragon. Wonderful to meet. Is there like, do I bow? Is it fair? And
This is Cuthbert. You can
Okay.
bow. I think he likes it.
It's hard for me to bow, and I think you see as he tries to bow, and you realize like he's already half bent
Yeah.
over. This is hard enough for him where he's like half on
Oh
the
no,
ground.
never mind, sir. I take it back.
No,
Cuthbert
it's fine.
gives
It's
the
fine.
head.
Shit. Okay, yep. This is you said Cuthbert?
That's my
Yeah,
name.
Cuthbert.
Okay, great. Farron, you made friends with a dragon? That's crazy.
You're telling me.
So what brings you folks in this direction? If you don't mind me asking, of course. I don't want to intrude.
Just to get it out of the way real quick. At this point, two other individuals come around the corner. Taruk, a red kobold with little kobold wings, dressed in kind of a post-apocalyptic duster's coat, with a few vials and trinkets kind of strapped to the body. and the other individual is a dragonkin, a draconic individual, a humanoid dragon, right? Dark mahogany red scales, dreadlocks kind of made out of the scales, kind of bound loosely, and dressed in, for ease of description, it'd be like monk's robes. Right?
Gotcha.
With fist wraps, with hand wraps. And they kind of come in, and the dragonkin just kind of looks you over, looks to Cress and say, "So we got another one then."
Yeah, another friend. Zin, this is Taruk, and Taruk, this is Chimney.
Chimney, okay.
Hi there.
Hello. Chimney and Zin, was it? I just want to make sure I said it correctly.
Nailed it, says Chimney.
Gotcha. Gotcha, Chimney and Zin. Gotcha. Hello, Elder Taruk. I guess I'm joining this band of friends. So what brings you all out here? Because this is a strange place to run into a friendly face.
Yes. Well, many things. Currently, we are headed towards the Temple of Damara. No, yes? Is that right?
We're
Maybe I
headed
shouldn't
toward
be
a
the one.
rendezvous point
No.
with
We're meeting
the
up.
people of Zeladil. The Temple of Damara is nearby, and we need to head there eventually because there are people trapped there. Maybe including your people. Unclear as of
Okay.
now.
Gotcha. Still a little lost, if I'm being honest with you. You said a lot of terms that I don't understand, but I'm gonna go with it. So,
Well-
are you guys camping here? Are you traveling on? What's your plan, if you don't mind me asking? Of course, I don't want to intrude. Of course.
I could use a sit down.
It's getting fairly late. It's hard to, those of you who have like a good, and I'll leave this up to you whether or not your characters kind of have like a good internal clock, right? If you do, happy to give you the time. But for those of you that maybe, have kind of adapted to this cycle where you just kind of sleep when you're tired, right? I'll leave that up to you. But it is nearing, those of you who would be keeping a regular time, it is nearing pretty late in the day from where you guys woke up for sure.
Okay.
Baron's definitely keeping tabs of the time.
Yeah, probably closer to like 9:30, 10 o'clock-ish.
Oh,
Yes, well, believe it or not, it's getting late.
Yes, it is hard to tell with this.
maybe
Yet
it'd be,
another one of the mysteries of the apocalypse.
maybe it'd be best to bed down here, set up a guard rotation, and then formulate a plan in the morning.
Will Cuthbert be able to get in?
I've been scoping it out. What does it look like?
Looks like a narrow fit. I mean, even if it were in good shape, right? It's meant for people, right? Not dragons. So Cuthbert would have a hard time. But
Wait, this isn't a dragon barn?
no, this isn't. Unfortunately, I rolled for
Weird.
it and I didn't get Dragon Barn.
How big is
Cresswell,
Cuthbert,
The dice have spoken.
by the way?
Like bigger than a horse. A good, big enough that Cuthbert can just about carry with usually 3 people. 2 on the back and kind of 1
Okay.
in the arm. So pretty big.
A sidecar.
But Cuthbert can.
Yeah, Cress will look up at Cuthbert, and Taruk, you now see that Cress has these moving tattoos that sort of flow across their person. And some of them are these yellow canaries that sort of fly underneath their eyes and then up their ears. And as the canaries reach the tips of their ears, Cress says, "You want to get tiny, Cuthbert?
Yeah, I want to be cozy tonight.
All right, come here."
There's kind of like a flash of like golden to teal to green light as Cuthbert kind of glows, and the shape kind of condenses within the light. And in Cress's hands, you see a small golden canary with teal feathers.
Wow, okay. I was gonna say I could just make the trees change to like a little shelter, but never mind.
He's all cuddly this way.
Makes sense.
Gotta be cuddly. And Cuthbert will kind of like nestle into your hair, Cress.
They curl it up around him.
Is there like so this structure, does it look like it's like safe to stay in, or does it look like
I mean, as long as you guys
Okay.
don't like, hit the walls or something, excessively, right? It should hold up. But if you wanted to knock it over, I'd say this wouldn't be as difficult as you would think. wouldn't be
Okay.
very difficult, but safe enough to
Gotcha.
stay in as
Yeah.
long as you don't,
She's got good bones.
So
She's
no
got
rock
good
is fucking.
bones. Yeah.
Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think if you guys
Yeah.
like really went like if if you're really bed shaking, then you might like lose a front wall or something. But
bed shaking?
So Farron will set up a small fire, and we'll start roasting some of those, like weasel type creatures, little small mammal rabbit
almost
things.
stuff. Yeah. You also picked up a good bit of
Yeah.
horse meat and stuff last
Field
time too.
stuff. Right. So yeah, she's just gonna start skinning and cooking.
Yeah. And so I'll leave you guys if you want to do any more roleplay and stuff. As you guys are settling down for camp, if there's anyone you want to talk to in the camp, feel free. I would say, as it's clear as you guys start to to eat and all that stuff, Cuthbert doesn't go to bed immediately, but I think like Cuthbert and Tulka would kind of be staring at each other. You know that they have their little telekinetic or telepathic conversations throughout the night. I think.
Well,
Yeah. Good.
there's one thing I think over dinner I'll ask Taruk. Did you ever find that creature that we saw right before the wave?
Oh, well, yes and no. I focused on this instead of staying, which I probably should have stayed to finish that, but there's many viable people, and also it wasn't the only elder left in the town. So,
Taruk.
Mhm.
You did spend some time fighting the conquering host in the Ironwood. Roll a. Allow you to go with society here.
perfect.
Yeah, roll society.
So close to a natural 20. I'm so mad about that. 26.
26. With a 26, you have had squabbles and little conflicts between the Brahm, the forces of the Monarch, and the conquering host. You've, been busy defending Zalos, but the conquering host division or legion that you've been fighting,
Mm-hmm.
you've learned a little bit of their tactics, and you've learned some of their members. Okay, you've been fighting a legion called the Intrik Legion, Intrik. You, throughout the skirmishes and stuff, you've learned that is the name of the legion that is under the command of the Manticore, to which Farron is referring.
I would relay all that information
Yeah.
of like what I've figured out. I don't think it clicks in his mind that the conquering host and this group are the same. He
Mhm.
still is
Sure.
figuring out that relationship.
Sure.
There's because he's realized you all start referring to them as that, and he's like, "Oh, the goblin conquerors, yep, them."
You also,
No, go ahead.
real quick, among their number, it's not all goblins. There
Mhm.
are also other intelligent creatures, and ones that I think are always interesting to encounter for you, because you wouldn't really expect them to be verbal, are wargs. All right, and you know that with the 26 and your history, you know that the wargs will often they overhunt a lot of the Ironwood fauna. And one of their favorite tactics is to wear the hide of those animals and like try to sneak in amongst other members. But yeah, so that's the wargs of the Intrik Legion.
Gotcha. And again, yeah, I would pass that along to everybody.
You said they wear the pelts of what they hunt. They try to blend in.
Oh, it's not. It's they. For lack of a better term, they don't really hunt. They slaughter, and then they take those as trophies to hide themselves in packs. And then what happens is our hunters would go out to go get us food, and they would be attacked. So I don't know. I've spent the last little while trying to organize people into actually protecting themselves and learning how to defend themselves in the wood.
I was given a vision at the Sanctum Metallica, or near it. The mountain there, it's in pain. And it showed me golden-eyed entities who were wearing the figures of creatures that were not their own.
That tracks for you, Taruk. And when Crest refers to the Sanctum Metallica, that also tracks. That is one of the fire giant ruins in the mountains.
Would that be possibly where the ascended griffin came from?
I won't say it's impossible, but that particular set of ruins isn't really so much ruins. It's very active. There's a monk monastery there, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the griffins would have probably been a little bit more removed. Something in like the really high peaks. These are like mid peaks.
Gotcha.
Like
Okay,
midway
cool,
up the
cool,
mountain. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense to me. That's what they look like. These golden-eyed individuals wearing the pelts of other things.
Thank you for enlightening me then.
Oh, of course. I'd love to help if I can. But I'd also love to help set up camp. I don't know how you all camp. I usually just climb up a tree and sleep in it, if there's a tree around. But
There's a loft. There's some hay up there.
and I think you all see it is almost effortless how quickly Taruk is able to climb. And you see as at a certain point he like stops and like folds back down, and he's just hanging from a tail that looks like a separate limb completely. Like another arm is holding him upside down, and he goes, "I'm sorry, that was rude. Does anybody else want this? I don't want to take it if anybody else wanted it."
It's all yours.
Great. Folds back up on top of it.
Taruk, may I join you for a moment?
Sure. Do you need a hand or tail?
No, I'm good, thank you. So Farron climbs a ladder, maybe that's just like standing off the side. So she starts coming up. I think Tulka probably tries to come up too. She like puts her paws up on the ladder, and she turns around and says, "Tulka, sit." Tulka obediently sits. Tail wraps around, and she says, "Stay." And she gives those commands in Elvish, if anyone can can understand Elvish. And then she continues. It's just so good to see you, Taruk.
It's amazing to see you too. So what happened after you left? I worried, of course, but
Yes, well, I didn't feel good about leaving in the state that your town was in, but I needed to go check on my Terraphants. So I went back to the savannah, and sadly things were not good. And you see kind of this like 1,000-yard stare.
I'm so sorry. Genuinely, I would love to help once things at least settle, of course. But I'm sorry, Farron.
Well, it seems we've all lost friends. You're lucky enough to have the hope of them still being alive.
That's what I've been going off of for I don't know how long at this point, because there's no day cycle anymore, so it's very strange to think about days at this point. But yeah, yeah.
I think Farron puts a hand on your shoulder and just with the most confident, reassuring tone just says, "We will find them."
Of course we will. I wouldn't accept it any other way, of course. And I think, Farron, you feel patting you on the back is the tail that swept up behind you. So, how did you find these folks?
Well, I've set out on a bit of a mission to reclaim the savannah and replant and bring back the crops and the fields and the ecosystem. So I'm actually here in search of the Everseed.
I don't know what that is.
Hopefully, it's the key to restoring balance to the savannah.
Well, I would be happy to help. I don't know how helpful I could be. I'm just, going along my way, if you will.
Of course. I think Farron will just kind of like take the opportunity. Unless, is there anything else specific that you wanted to touch on in this conversation?
No.
Okay, so I think for the rest, Farron will just kind of like try to update you on what we've been doing, who we've encountered, and what's been happening in this area of the world. And then after, are you okay, David?
You update Taruk on who you've encountered.
Yeah.
You list everything.
Oh. Yes. I will tell him about... Shit, what's their name?
There's Captain Magnus, the flesh-warped pirate captain in town.
Okay, yes. Captain Magnus, the flesh-warped pirate. The Dryad.
Nepeta.
Nepeta.
Nepeta the Dryad.
I will tell you about encountering Nepeta, who we sought out their hut in the woods because Captain Magnus told us there was potential for them to help us find the Everseed. So we spoke to Nepeta, and Nepeta told us where we might be able to find it.
Gotcha.
And then they asked that we bring it back to them so that they might say goodbye to it before taking it back to the savannah. Now, I didn't think much of that at the time, but it has been in the back of my mind a bit lately.
Can I
Is that
roll could I roll like a survival check to see if like saying goodbye to a seed would make me think that like maybe this is not a seed and is like a being of some sort?
I would say I'm fine if you want to just have that theory as a character.
Okay.
Yeah, like you can
Okay.
totally propose that as a character theory,
Farron, that sounds strange. Why would you say goodbye to seed? That doesn't make
Well, it's not just a
sense.
seed. It's a sacred relic of people's. How would I describe this, David?
It is a sacred relic with ties to Alizar, the god of
Alizar.
cultivation, which Taruk. Any training in religion?
That's an awesome question. No.
Okay, no, that ring a bell.
It's a very meaningful and very powerful seed.
Well, if you don't mind, and he brings out both the staffs and holds them up with his feet and says, "So, these are relics of my people, correct? If these died or somebody needed to take them somewhere else, I don't think I would say goodbye, if I'm just being honest. But
I
if
hear
a
you.
person was being taken somewhere, or a being or entity of some sort, probably at that point I'd say something. So that's why I think maybe it's just
Is there
just a thought, of course.
is there any way I can like cross-check this theory with what I know about all of this?
No, because the
Okay.
centaur is
No, that was right. That
You
was
said
right.
That was right.
You said it right.
Oh.
Yeah.
You said it correct.
Centaurs.
You said centaur?
I saw Adam drink.
Dog, people get thirsty.
Okay.
Don't let-
I'm just
I'm
paranoid
Don't
about
let
people
how
drinking.
CC treats you affect how you view us.
That's fair. That's why I'm projecting my own paranoia. Okay. Hannah, stop. The guys. The Everseed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The legend of the Everseed is one of those things. It's so. The centaur shamans. They're called Weavers of the Ash. The Weavers of Ash. They're very secretive, right? You know that ultimately they have the world's interest at heart. And I would say, as far as what they believe the Everseed is capable of, perhaps one of the things you remember is they were really into ley lines of the world. But beyond that, they're very cryptic, right? They put a lot of faith in you, and I think just the sheer act of the faith that they put in you to complete this was significant enough. Farron. They're very close-knit tribe, similar to those in Zalos. You know, they were known, but they have a history of kind of maintaining their own ways in a world that is vast, that was very quickly becoming more modern.
So, it very well could be. I'm afraid I don't know much about this item. The centaurs told me which direction to go and that it might be useful for exactly what I hope to do. And I took off in that direction. I have no other options.
No, I understand that. I mean, I'm here, so. But no, I can, whichever way I can help, let me know and I will do it.
Well, luckily for us, the things we're looking for seem to be in the same direction.
Yes, they do.
I think we're gonna pause with these two here. As
We
you
can
guys-
we can wrap that up. I can.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No,
went
I
down
got
and
something. Yeah, I got something else though before we move on, because the meta thing
okay.
is fine, but there was something else I was thinking about.
I love it when the GM is like, no.
No. You don't. You're not getting let off that easy. You guys have one more thing that we'll talk about, because Farron, you said you shared the information about everything, so I'm coming back to that.
Okay.
Cress and Finn. Zin, Chimney, Cress, Finn, Cuthbert, and I think Tulka kind of makes her way back over as you guys are sitting around
No,
the
I
fire.
told her to stay.
Yeah,
She's trained.
you're up there long enough that she's kind of like, I'm an ancient ass wolf. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Get what I want.
He won't know.
She moves.
Mom.
She doesn't move far, but she kind of moves over next to Finn by the fire and just kind of like rests a head on your lap, Finn, while you guys are settling down and having dinner. And
Just look, I forgive you.
His tail just kind of wags.
It's all right. I know it wasn't personal. I think Finn will, because Cress has got Cuthbert as a canary on their shoulder, right, kind of tucked into their hair.
Mhm.
I think there's some conscious things and there's some subconscious things going on in Finn right now. The conscious is that there was the recognition of Farron's like absolute excitement in seeing an old friend and seeing Taruk, and there's the realization, God, Cress is going to see Anatole so soon. They have to be so excited, and so he wants to check in with them on that. And the subconscious thing is Taruk also said that he was not able to share his feelings with this person, and I think that in the moment pushes Finn to move closer to Cress, as there are feelings building, but they haven't been communicated. So I think he kind of picks Tulk up a little bit, scoots over, and just kind of tucks a little finger under Cuthbert and just says, he's going to be out any minute.
I know. He's been kind of trilling.
There he is. I wanted to check in with you quick.
Yeah.
We're getting close to Anatole. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling a lot. You know, he's my best friend, and now that I know he's been through so much, I want to take care of him. I want him to know that his people are safe. I'm gonna message him as soon as I go to bed. I am not well loved by my people, so I'm scared. And
Sorry.
no, it is what it is, you know. I'm a bastard. In many senses. I'm worried that I won't be able to stay. But I think I'd be more worried if you weren't here.
From what I've heard, you may not be well loved by your people, but you're well loved by Anatole. And I hope that is a balm for the both of you.
I mean, I hope so too. I know it. If I got to see him, it would be just a relief. But
Just,
I don't know. See Cress's face struggle for a moment to compose itself. I mean, who's to say he actually wants to see me?
I'm sure he does. From what we've heard from Zen, he's talked about you so much. You don't talk about someone like that if you don't want to see them, if you don't think of them fondly. But I don't want to invalidate your skepticism or your fear. It's understandable.
Sometimes. You know, you can love people and not necessarily be worthy of that love in return. So I'm just accepting that.
Do you think you've done something to make yourself unworthy?
I've never been worthy. I've never been worthy. No. Anatole's friendship is a gift, and my sister betrayed him.
It's the key word, your sister. This is just my experience, but I hope you know that for me, being with you is a gift. And if Anatole feels a fraction of the way I do about you, he will be elated. And I'll be right by your side.
It's an honor to have you at my side, Finn. You're a strange one. You're real. Just real kind.
But I am a bastard too.
I thought you were in line for something or other.
Yeah, but I don't want it.
I do not know if we are the same kind of bastard.
And frankly, my sister's far better suited for it than I am.
Maybe you can convince her to take it on.
It's not her that I need to convince. She'd take it happily. Are you feeling okay after what happened earlier? With...
I know you didn't mean it. I'm not hurt. I'm fine. You're fine. We have a lead, and you know, if he does want to see us, then we maybe can work together. Figure out your dragons. I'm not mad at you. Sometimes people transform into something unrecognizable. And Cress's mind flashes back to Luke Veer at the end, transforming into a monster, attacking them, attacking Anatole's father, the king. Their eyes see for a moment a vision of Cuthbert nearly drowning themselves and Luke Veer. And they see Cress. They are an out-of-body experience, Cress themselves, their body being shoved into the ground earlier the day by Finn. Sometimes the people you love try and kill you. And that's alright.
I don't think it is. But I'm working to get my bearings on it. And after we meet with Anatole and the people of Zaladil and go for the Everseed, I want to figure out about getting this removed.
Well, just like you, I'm by your side. Do you know that?
I do.
Good.
You're right here. Bumps him with his hip. But I know that if I need anything, you're here. And I know that you know that if you need anything, I'm here. We're gonna get to that brighter tomorrow. I fucking demand it.
You demand it of whom?
The world.
Oh.
It's given us our fair share of darkness. And we are due for light.
Yeah, after darkness perpetual, I'd lack some light.
Well, whenever Cuthbert does this, there's a little bit of, so we kind of have our own sun in the back pocket.
You're right. Never thought of it that way.
I'll set up some lanterns in the morning. Cuthbert will unfurl and it'll be like a sunrise.
Thank you for bringing some light.
Thank you for the same. I know the compliments are hard to accept when they're about yourself, but that doesn't make them any less true, Cressida.
Don't call me Cressida.
Take the compliment and I won't.
Mm.
Reminds me of the day we met. And let me know how the dream goes in the morning, if you want.
Yeah. Yep. Zin, do you need me to tell Anatole anything?
Zin has been eating a large amount of food and has now kind of fallen into a kind of sprawled, very comfortable sleep. No bedding, no cushion, nothing. Just a splay of scaly dreadlocks all over the dirt and a very satisfied kind of snore. Meanwhile, Chimney is just doing a little bit of tinkering. And your question was, say anything in particular?
Yeah, do you need me to tell Anatole anything in particular? I'm going to tell him that we're headed toward the rendezvous point.
Kind of looks up. Oh, wait. How are you going to talk to Anatole?
Through dreams.
Well, let me just... Fair warning, be careful. He can be kind of sensitive about his dreams.
If I could send a message literally any other way, I would do it. Pascal let me know that dreams are not great, but I don't know of anyone else there who dreams.
That's a good point. Well, I think if it's coming from you, it'll be all right. He's just been... He keeps journals and journals of these dreams. He kind of hoards them in his bedchamber. His dreams are precious to him. For reporting, I'd let him know we're safe, we're on our way, and you're with us. Like I said, it's you. It'll be fine.
And if I offend, then it will be no mark on you.
If Anatole has any issue with you doing what you have to do to report, rest assured, I will personally stand behind you. That it was necessary, right? And so will Zin. Kind of nudges Zin. Right, Zin?
Thank you very much.
I can tell.
I was just gonna say you're very kind.
Anatole is more than our king. He's like a brother to us. So, we look out for him, and I can tell you're looking out for him too.
I'd die for him in a heartbeat.
That before we go to bed, Farron, you said you tell Taruk everything. In the list...
I don't like the way you're saying that, but
yeah.
Yes.
In the list of people that you mentioned, Taruk, Farron describes a couple of bugbears that she's run into, and the captain, a hobgoblin captain, named Nixus, who leads them.
Fuck.
Lists Nixus amongst the allies in Dameril. And that name is familiar to you.
That's the person. Isn't that the one that took? Yeah.
That's the captain of the ship.
And you said they were an ally?
That's what Farron said, man. Hey, I'm just saying.
What?
Guys,
I think.
we're gonna cut to break here as Farron has just revealed to Taruk.
Hey, David,
Hi.
what the fuck, dog?
Guys,
You
we'll see
mean
you in about
our-
10 minutes.
I'm knocking this building down on top of all of us now.
I'll see you guys in a little bit.
no.
Get a drink, stretch your legs. We'll be back in a moment. Bye-bye. 1! Hey guys, welcome back to Stealthy Elf Productions Heroes of Histaeria. This is our Unearthed Inheritance campaign. It is a Pathfinder 2nd edition game, and we are in the thick of it. Our party has just encountered a new face just at the edge of the woods. This face is familiar to at least one of them. And as Farron has been telling Taruk of events thus far, Farron, you mentioned Nixus. Can you just give us tell us how you mentioned Nixus to Taruk, like just the casual, offhanded nature with which you say.
When I encountered Cress and Finn for the first time, they were with a bit of an adventuring party. One of them, I always forget their name, hobgoblin sort. Nixus, I believe.
I think at the drop of Nixus and saying a hobgoblin, Farron, you have seen this. You see as Taruk's face narrows in and he tries to talk normal, and you can hear that primal arcane rage coming through where he's, Farron, I need you to be 100%. What was the name you just said?
It's Nixus.
That is the person that took Wit and Sydney.
Down below, as Taruk, you start to kind of loom, that energy starts to kind of hit you. Tulka, down below Finn, on your lap, just kind of the head perks up and like stares quickly over towards the barn, and the, what did you call it? What's that area in the top of the barn?
Loft.
The loft. Yeah.
The hay loft.
The loft.
Yeah,
Not a lot of barns where I grew up.
It's valid.
Tulka kind of gets up, moves onto the feet, and starts like walking over and starts like kind of cocking the head quizzically. Okay.
Without realizing what they're doing, because I've never done it before, Cress will use the wild song for the first time and just say to Tulka, what's wrong? But it's not in words that Finn you can understand, as they're speaking the secret language of druids and in the voice of nature, which they have chosen animals as their specialty, as a seeker of the Zeladiel bestiary.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can understand animals, right?
Mhm.
Telka kind of cocks the head and goes, I sense Farron. She's worried.
Oh. Do you want me to go check on her?
Yes. And as Tolka's kind of like padding up towards the barn, kind of eyes locked in, Taruk,
Mm-hmm.
your response as you are hit with this news.
If anybody looks at him, his fur on his body is up. Like, you see he is in a very animalistic defensive state. And I think Farron hears him muttering under his breath, just like, deep roots take time. And he's trying, you can tell he's trying to center himself. And he just looks at you and goes, I'll be back in a moment. And just as far jumps as he can to the front door. He jumps to the front door and just goes all fours at whatever the biggest tree in this clearing is. He is running at full speed towards it. And yeah, that's all you see is he's running towards the tree line.
Yeah, that's
Farron just sighs deeply, just knowing that this has just got a bit complicated, and makes her way down the ladder.
To everybody outside, you see as Tolka's kind of walking towards the loft, and as Taruk just busts out of the door, kind of pops straight into more of like a startled position, and Taruk, you take off into the woods, and you all see.
And we'll look to Cress and just, you go for Farron, I'll go for Taruk.
All right. Farron.
Taruk. I'll just repeat the actions of a couple hours ago.
I don't know who's going.
Who wants to go
Over
first?
here.
Cress and Farron.
Cress and Farron.
Cress and Farron.
Cress will they're holding the little bird on their shoulder as they run, and they sort of just like hoist themselves up the ladder. Farron, you're alive. All right.
I'm fine. It was Nixus.
Taruk is Nixus?
No.
What?
It was Nixus who took Taruk's friends. Sid and Wit were taken by Nixus. Nixus is the hobgoblin captain.
God damn it.
I forget, above table, where is Nixus right now?
Damaril.
On the ship?
Yes, with everybody else.
Right.
The fractal, to be clear.
Guys,
Why?
I haven't given out hero points in a quick minute. I just want to quick shuffle out some hero points real quick. Button for I saw you put together earlier the animal hides thing. I meant to hero point that. So there's one. Alec, remembering the name of the fractal, you get one too. Hannah, bringing in the Nixus tie-in immediately. There.
I'm not gonna.
Thanks for being here. All right, let's go. I'm fucking around. Adam,
I refuse to take a
Hero
hero point for remembering the name of something. Absolutely not.
I can't reward
Just
you
do
guys. Just take it. All right, sorry. I'm out.
Okay.
So... he's going to kill Nixus.
Nixus is the person who has seen Sydney and Wit most recently. I don't know if killing her is the best way to get them back. I imagine
I
finding the
completely
person
agree
he
with you.
loves.
Right. But he will kill her.
God damn it. I wish I knew why.
How did you and yourself and Finn come across Nixus again? Remind me.
She was camping with our friend Dex and her companions. It seemed that they had joined forces for a while.
So Dex was on Nixus's crew?
Well, I don't think so. They were all just trying to survive outside of Damaril together. I think they were more like unlikely bedfellows.
Okay.
Nixus did not like me, as I'm attached to Cuthbert. The hobgoblins have a thing against dragons, which is understandable. One took over Muldan Ordan, that is their capital. I know she's a part of the Conquering Host. We know she's a part of the Conquering Host. We know that her vessel crashed.
Oh.
Right? Do you remember? She told
Yes.
us that she doesn't currently have access to her vessel.
Did she say where?
I recall it was near the Black Reef,
Yeah.
David? Is that right?
No,
Nope.
it was over on the reef doesn't have a name, but
Lachul. At Lachul's.
no, by the Tahali, the ship kaiju thing.
Right.
Yep. That's what took Nix's ship down.
Right.
Right. So our ship got taken down by a giant crab.
Mhm.
So, all right. So maybe Whit and Sydney are in that direction. Frankly, I think we need to talk to Nixus.
Yes. I think so.
To do that, she does have to be alive.
Right. That's going to be important. I will talk to Taruk. And you see this look in Farron's face of just like, I'll do my best.
I want to be very clear. I'm on Taruk's side of this.
100%.
People he loved were kidnapped. I want to get them back. I know what it is like to lose someone you love. I have also promised Nyx's safe passage in exchange for aiding us against the Temple of Damara.
Yes.
As of yet, Nyx's has not done anything to aid us, so it would be possible to end that alliance, but I wish to find a way forward in which we can build community rather than tear greater divisions between us. I know she's a fucking asshole. I would like to find a way forward if it's possible.
I hope it's possible. But I also know Taruk. And it might not be possible for him. But for now, perhaps this can ultimately be good news. We know where the captain is that took Sid and Wit, and we have a lead.
You are the queen of silver linings, Farron. I mean it as a compliment.
You've got to find them in a world like this.
I agree.
That's a good spot for us to transition over to Finn and Taruk. Similar to your earlier encounter, when you first met in the woods. Taruk, do you just keep running, or do you eventually stop?
I was gonna say probably close to the edge. Like he doesn't go super deep into the woods from here, but finds the biggest tree in this area, and I think Finn would probably be close enough to watch this happen as Taruk stands up on like full height, and he's at like 6'7", pounding his chest, and just you see his hands hit the tree, and it almost looks wrong, like reality is wrong for a moment as I cast Shape Wood. And it is just pure rage as he is tearing a full tree. He's tearing into it, and like it looks almost like it is made of clay, and Taruk is ripping through this tree as if it isn't anything in his path. Just you can tell he's just trying to get all of this excess anger out of his body, and he's using his magic to essentially supplement that into the tree.
Your point.
There we go. There's obviously there are a lot of heavy emotions here, but Finn and the person he is frankly in awe of the ability to shape. and create and mold. And I think that there is a moment where it's like there's finding yourself in awe of an elder, right? He's seen Elda at work, and now he's seeing what Taruk is capable of, and he's like, turn the fucking nerd off for a moment. Jesus, whoever that is. Okay. Taruk, I'm approaching, if that's all right.
Fine.
Let's talk about this.
And
Let's go.
I think
Yeah.
you see in his face, he is just like, he's essentially tried to not make it so that he destroyed the building that everybody was in, and he focused on something outside that he was like, this won't hurt anybody, I'm gonna do this. And he's like turning around, and he's very like still big boyed out, shoulders up, like, sorry, got some bad news.
I know we just met. Tell me about it.
Nixis. He is a friend of yours, correct?
I would not say friend,
That's
but
good.
I know Nixis.
I unfortunately do too, as they are the one who took my friends.
I'm sorry that your friends were taken.
It's not your fault, but
No, but it's a loss, and I apologize for it. When did this happen?
Days are hard at this point, and like you see him at that point turn and like hit the tree again and like just tear out another chunk of it. He's like, again, sorry, times are difficult because
You don't have to apologize.
something I'm used to. So
Was it... Did it happen before or after the last wave?
oh, during.
I'm sorry.
The other person, Wit, that I'm looking for, also an elder of my town. But we, you're from the Ironwood, correct? And he, like, is staring at your axe.
I'm from the Nexenkov, but I found home in the Ironwood.
Good. It's a good place. I visited before, but
I don't know where I'd be without it, and I doubt that the Ironwood, the forest, or the place would be the same without you. So, I respect the anger, and I see it. But I need you to take a breath, because our relationship with Nixis is mighty complicated. We have offered her safe passage. And in doing so, have offered protection. Obviously, we had no means of knowing. And you can't find a Wit or Sid if she is dead. I think the best thing to do is to have a conversation. It's hard.
I know it's hard. And fuck it, you're Farron's friend. I have wielded power like this since I was very young. It's not necessarily something I have perfect control over either. And he just quickly gestures towards the torn up tree, which I do imagine at some point he has grabbed and torn a hole in between it, so it looks like a strange like carving now of a tree. But sometimes I need to at least do that so that I don't destroy something important.
You and I are very similar in that way.
Deep roots.
What is that?
It's a saying and my old mentor had. Iron trees take long to plant deep roots. One of his many sayings about the trees out there. He talked about them non-stop. I use them as focuses for myself.
Plant yourself in the ground.
Mm-hmm. Grows in deep roots.
Now, I don't know you. I want to help you find your friends. And I want Nixus to answer for it. But it has to be a conversation. It can't be a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm. I understand. And I can appreciate. What I will say is this. And I think you can see the fur is settling.
Yeah.
And I think also with him standing up, you can see, similar to you, he actually has tattoos that are kind of hidden in the fur of these trees.
Cool.
And you see as they are settling, you see as these trees almost look as if they are sweeping in the wind, and as it begins to settle, they begin to settle. And it isn't a conscious effort of him to control these. This is purely his magic taking over his body. And he just looks at you and says, I know it needs to be a conversation, and I can accept that. I cannot promise good result from a conversation.
Trust me.
But I can try.
I will forewarn you, conversations with Nixus are often enraging. I'm often a patient man, but she has gotten the best of me more than once. So, if it's... I'm not going to keep you from her, but I am going to extend a branch of trust.
Clever wording there. That was smart. I can't deny that. I understand what you did there.
I don't mean to jest.
No.
I
don't
don't
appreciate jest.
Focus on those deep roots. Focus on grounding yourself. And I think, Taruk, you see in this moment, you see Finn kind of like an idea sparks in his mind outside of this conversation, and a smile just kind of curls across his face. There are often monsters in us.
Oh, yes.
They are not us.
No, I learned that from a young age. I mean, God, can you imagine a teenager being able to do that shit? And he points at this like fucking desecrated tree that's just behind him.
You are an elder, so excuse me for catching up.
No.
But you know what I see there?
What?
The capacity to create. You
Ah,
could
well.
mold that tree into a home. In your anger, in this primal rage, you have the capacity to make.
Mm-hmm. You sound like my old mentor more and more as we talk. Did you ever know a Venaran named Auric?
No, it doesn't sound familiar. But
Well, you would have loved him. Trust me, I can tell.
I am young, philosophical, and hungry to learn. So if they're anything like that, then I believe you're right, Taruk. What I can say, obviously you know Farron is trustworthy. Cress, they're one of the best people I know. And I trust them with my life. And more.
I think Turd clocks that. I just want to throw that out there. Turd clocks it. He understands on a very personal level what you just said.
Finn doesn't understand that you know anything. So let's go back to the group and talk. We have a ship in Damaril where Nixus is.
Right. Again, sorry about all this. I appreciate you taking the time, and I think he stays standing next to you, so you don't feel. So it feels more akin to being somebody close to you.
Yeah.
Understanding that you're part giant in the sense of like, oh, I'm also a larger individual. I feel like it's that shared kinship of like, I get it. Like looking down all the time is weird.
He just nods, and as they start walking back to camp, he'll pat the axe. It was a gift from the Ironwood Rangers.
Right. They usually don't come by our village. It's pretty hidden. And if they do, I usually try to direct them in a different way. But
it's probably wise.
Well, nah. I also just don't want people knowing about our little secrets, you know.
Some secrets are fun.
But... Yes, they are.
It's like, what do you mean by that? Okay.
What do you mean? You said it. I agreed.
I think as the two of you kind of continue to exchange that kind of muttering, Cress and Farron, this is very reminiscent of the scene you had looked at earlier when you looked towards the tree line and saw Finn being led by Taruk out of the trees. They are coming back, but they are closer, and you can kind of see the camaraderie there.
A lot can happen in a couple hours.
Well, it can. Looks between Farron and Cress. I imagine we all know the same thing. Fucking Nixus.
Yup.
Fucking Nixus.
Again, also, I wanted to say sorry about that. I had to get some, I had to go tear a tree apart for a moment just to get out all of the primal stuff. You saw it, unfortunately, when you were there the day the wave hit.
I have nothing but respect for you, and there's no need to apologize.
No, I should hold myself better. I am an elder, of course, so I'll work on it, but...
Nixus is a product of her upbringing. I have met members of the Conquering Host who have mirrored her behaviors, who have since changed. One of them, his name is Gick. He resides in the Ironwood now. He saved children who were not his own by the grace of his own kindness.
Do you mean Ironwood the wood or Ironwood the city?
Ironwood the place, like New York City.
Well, both of them are places, so
the city. We're talking. The city. If we're talking about the
city
Ironwood,
or the
we're
realm.
talking about the city.
Gotcha. I need to make sure at this point, because you also just said somebody of her legion is now in my home, and that got me scared.
That is, I would say, perhaps a bit prejudicial. As what I followed that up by saying was that he saved children who were not his own, who were the children of that city.
I understand, and I don't mean to come off prejudiced, of course. I'm just saying that due to experience with the Legion, I have formed opinions, unfortunately, and I'm willing to change, of course. I'm just saying, got a little nervous because, but...
I'm not even saying that she's changed. I'm only suggesting that it would be right of us to try to give her the opportunity.
Of course.
Perhaps she can lead us to Whit and Sydney.
Oh, she better.
You better.
Sorry. That wasn't a threat. It wasn't meant to be. It came off very... I just meant that she better do that or we're going to have I guess it was a threat. Never mind.
Let me talk through that. Yep, no, that's a threat.
Nope, that was fully a threat that I just made.
Nixus, to Cress's point, has softened to us in a way and has been helpful recently. In Finn's mind, he's like, very recently.
Today.
Today, yeah. Today.
So
Earlier today.
I hope that if we all approach this conversation on equal footing, with the same insight in mind, learn where Wit and Sydney are, we could come to a compromise. You said this happened as the last wave hit. The world has changed exponentially since then. We're not operating on the same playing field anymore. Nixus knows that too. We are better together in a lot of instances, and I want to see, much like Crest does, if that can happen with Nixus.
Of course. No, I understand. I don't think it's invalid of me to have opinions because of, well, my best friend and also Elda, and my love was taken, so I do have a little bit of a different opinion than you, but again, I'm willing to talk, and I promise you...
I'm not saying your rage is misplaced. Your feelings are understandable. I get it.
But, no, I can appreciate, and I will follow your lead, as you all know this person more than I do, apparently.
Well then.
All right. So, I think with that, your party kind of separates. Before we go to bed, though, there's the matter of watches. Second watch.
I'll take first. Nope, I'll take third. I lied.
Okay, Farron, you're on first. Finn, you're on third. Cress,
I'll
you're
go
on
on
second.
first.
Yeah, okay.
I'll join on first.
You'll join on first with Finn?
Yep.
Sure. Or Farron? Yeah, Farron's
Farron.
second.
Baron.
I'm
Okay.
on third.
You're on third. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Who's on
Who's
first?
on third?
Who's
Nice.
Who's on third?
Who is on third?
Yes.
who is
I don't know who's on third, actually.
Finn's on third.
Hero point.
Finn's on third. All right. Okay. Farron and Taruk. The two of you are on the first watch. Okay. Let me get a couple of. What are your perception modifiers?
You're gonna do secret?
Mhm.
16.
It's really
10.
okay. Holy shit! I rolled a 19 and a 20.
Ooh.
So. Farron.
I woke up.
Or
real
what?
quick.
Yeah, for their perceptions. for their perception checks. I suppose I was gonna keep it secret, but when you roll a 19 and a 20, you gotta tell somebody.
I can see
You
everything.
got it. You
Yeah.
got it. Tell
You gotta tell somebody.
Farron, I can see through fucking time.
People
What
should
the
know.
hell?
Rest assured, guys. Just peace of mind. You guys are going to. You notice anything on your watch? You're both Taruk. You're an experienced guardian. Being on watch and being aware of your surroundings and protecting a space, that comes fairly natural to you, my friend. Farron, you're in a farmstead. This is home to you. You are so in tune with your surroundings. You're also very aware of what's going on. Your watch is going to pass by uneventfully. But if you guys have anything you want to say to each other, please feel free to take the moment.
I think at some point during the night, Taruk does go over and just... Farron, I did want to apologize again. I hate doing that in front of people, and I apologize.
It's nothing.
No, it's unbecoming, and I should have I should be able to handle it more, of course, but well, deep roots, am I right? And yeah, I think that's what he does. He just quickly says that at some point during the night, just to be like, "Oh, hey, I overreacted today."
Okay, yeah, perfect. All right, you guys, like I said, your watch passes uneventful, at least to the two of you, and to your camp.
I saw through time, dude.
You saw through time, and you saw through all 4 hours of your watch, forwards and backwards.
Great.
But though it's uneventful for those of you who are awake, it is not uneventful for those of you who are asleep. Cress. You are in the dream realm. You're in your dream. And you have a task this evening. Describe for us the dreamscape, Cress's dreamscape.
Cress is in the deep, dark depths of the ocean that no longer exists on this world. They can just see the faintest rays of light drifting downward. Some sunlight. This thing they have not felt properly in a while. The light that Finn mentioned. And they can't help but think about Taruk's reaction when they mentioned Gik. Gik taking care of the Ironwood, of unlearning his indoctrination, and how Taruk's response was still skepticism and mistrust. And they can't help but feel that that is what will be waiting for them. So they look up at the light and wonder for a moment if it could have ever been theirs. They remember the vision of their father sitting in a crow's nest, glimpsing their mother for the first time. And they wonder if he was confined to the same darkness. They have a job to do. So with the knowledge that they may be rejected by Anatole, in these moments they inhale the water, a familiar motion. They let it flow through them, the cold of it, the weight of crushing ocean. And they reach out for Anatole.
You reach out, Cress. You kind of extend outwards. You can kind of feel the water moving around you. You feel the waves of the dreamscape, of your dreamscape, extending beyond your person. As you think of Kirika, your father, you drift through, you see the scene as he is in the crow's nest. You see it almost from his perspective as he glimpses your mother for the first time. And you just feel this sense of connection as you kind of extend outwards. You see your hand kind of extend into a lightened form and a dragonfly-like creature, the shape of Varen, just kind of alights for a moment. And you know that you are connected to him through a lineage of individuals that ferry an extra soul with them. Back in the universe that your adventure had started in, you were familiar with the Kalishtar. Here, this is still unknown to you. But this connection to the dreamscape allows you to extend outwards, and as you search and extend outwards looking for Anatole, sure enough, you find a familiar feeling, kind of the way it would feel like if you were walking down a street past lots of people and you saw a silhouette that was familiar to you and you'd be able to pick that person out. That's how it feels to kind of extend your way through the dream. You're passing and brushing through other dreams, maybe people you don't know, other dreamers, right? Maybe your friends who are also dreaming. But you recognize the silhouette of Anatole's. You recognize the shape of Anatole's dream. He is asleep. And you know he will receive your message instantly.
Passing by all of these dreamers, Cress sees each of their eyes for a moment as they are searching for the right pair of eyes. And as soon as they lock onto Anatole, everyone else vanishes. Their hair extends beyond its length and reaches out in every direction as if to block those dreamers, to give Anatole's dream privacy, as they have learned that he treasures his dreams. They kneel in case he can see them. Deferential, reverential. My king, Zin and Chimney are safe. We met in Damaril and have begun our trek toward your rendezvous. I bring news. As Ross reemerges, Moldon Ordon is held by the Dragon Mask Varanya. The conquering host seeks to unify the continent under Vracaron Shred's leadership. We've killed Prana Trufan, the Crimson Circle leader Koku, the Axiomite Exigent, though Valu and Arda remain. The Axiomites have revealed the location of our beloved oceans. And at this, Chris's head hangs low. I apologize for interrupting your dreams. I know Pascal has advised against this form of communication, but... They look up. You are the only other sea elf I know who dreams. And knowing that they share the dream with Anatole, there is a profound meaning there in that they have only ever shared this space with Varen and their father. To know that Anatole is here means a great deal to Cress, so they continue. I miss you. Desperately. But if it would be better for me to keep my distance and serve you from afar, I will heed your wishes. Your safety and success are paramount, Anatole. I love you, and I remain your loyal servant, King of the Sandsea.
As soon as you are done, you feel yourself lifted from the kneel, a hand extending outwards to your own, and kind of as the two touch Cress, you are raised to standing, and while Anatole lacks the magic to respond, you know the message is received, and you feel at the point of contact this warmth rush through your fingers, this comforting warmth that kind of travels from your fingertips up your wrist, up your arm. You feel it as it hits your chest and just holds you.
Cress weeps.
As you begin to weep, Cress, the heat just flashes one more time and is gone. Being an experience, becoming more familiar with the dream, something about the way Anatole's dream kind of disappears and kind of shatters and breaks in front of you. You can tell he's waking.
Anatole's dream shatters, and the shards of glass fall into Cress's outstretched hair, that canopy protecting his dream from sight. And as this shattering, glimmering vision subsumes into a part of Cress, they also awake weeping.
Cress, you are on second watch. Farron
Right.
and... Yeah.
No, they just wake up. Right!
You're muted.
Are you all right, Chris?
Yeah, it's my turn. How was your watch? Did anything, try to eat us?
Nothing tried to eat us.
Nope, not food.
Farron will head over to where Tolka's laying and lay next to her, and Tolka just puts her head on Farron's belly, and Farron gives her a little pat and falls asleep.
I think Taruk, as Farron walks off, I think Taruk waits a second and just, about earlier, I just wanted to say that was unbecoming of me, and I apologize. I know we just met hours ago, but I should have been better.
Elder Sharuk, you have nothing to apologize for. I apologize for defending the indefensible.
No. In my many years of being around, I've learned many different things. One being that we learn as we grow, like trees. Trees sprout from nothing and become mighty things, but it takes time, it takes care, and it takes effort. And today I didn't show that. So I want to take the time to apologize to you. And I want to show you care. And I hope this is the effort that you see me putting into it.
Very much so. You're very wise.
Also,
Very
you can
kind.
just call me Taruk. Elder is the title I don't care about. Well, I do care. It's a whole thing. I'll talk about it another time. Anyway, if you need me, I'll be up in the loft. And I think at that, it's just this awkward instant jump where it's like, I'll be in the loft. It just jumps up and crawls in.
Taruk leaps up into the loft, and Cress's eyes follow him. Can a tree that's been uprooted, can it live?
What? Tree that's been uprooted, can it live? Of course. It just has to find roots in a new place. That's how trees work. You replant them and they grow bigger and better. Sometimes the foundation in which the tree was planted in the first place wasn't good enough to sustain it and keep it well kept, but replanting it in a new place usually does the trick.
Thank you.
Of course. Do you have a tree that needs to be planted somewhere else, so
In a sense, I suppose I do.
metaphorical. Gotcha. Well, from what I can tell, seems like you got a good place that you're planted right now. And he very subtly nods towards Finn.
Permission to roll a perception check. Permission to spot this.
Permission granted.
Oh my god! I rolled trash. I rolled a 2. So
You have hero
17.
points. Just saying.
I rolled a 17, which is not the worst thing on the planet total.
Okay.
I think it's definitely catchable. Like,
Yeah.
I think Taruk would have done it for a reason to be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I'm referring
This
to
is
this
to be
word.
seen. Yeah.
Yes. I think it was very subtle, but I think it's also like, do you get what I mean? Like that type of like, come on. But yeah, I think, and Taruk just goes, and again, if you need me, just yell. I'm pretty good at waking up quickly. I am tired though, and I am gonna go to bed. Good night. And you just see him curl up into this giant ball of fur and tail and limbs, and just immediately is snoring.
Distractedly, Chris is like, good night. And their eyes just fall on Finn. The number of elders I've met who've given me fucking looks. They settle in and start their watch.
All right, Cress. What's your perception modifier?
It is plus 15.
Ooh, that's really good too. Sheesh. All right, Cress. I think you end up in that kind of like, you know, that flow state of mind when you're distracted and you're thinking about stuff, and you kind of become better at the things you're casually doing. Like driving, for example, you start just thinking about random stuff and you become a better driver all of a sudden, like the best driver you could possibly be. That's the state that Cress, I imagine you've probably got a few things on your mind. Taruk's arrival, the revelations about Nixus, finding Chimney. It's been a day. It's been a hell of a day.
They keep coming back to Finn tackling them and realizing they have even more complicated feelings than they realized initially about that.
Cress, your watch is uneventful.
I counted 17 chipmunks. I counted 4 squirrels. I counted no threats. I counted 1 confusing man.
So Finn, you can wake up on your own, or Cress, if you want to wake him up. I'll leave it to you guys.
Cress is seated by the fire at this point, knowing that it's the end of their watch, and they're just like, now I might get tackled. How do I feel about that? I don't know how I feel about that. Ah, fuck it. And then they go wake him. They touch his shoulder. Man. Finn Reese.
Morning. Well,
Almost.
not quite morning.
Permanently, maybe.
Not quite morning to you too.
It's always not quite evening, so. How'd it go?
I felt him. He was warm. I know he received it. I don't know how he received it. But I felt him. How'd you sleep? Oh, sorry. I interrupted.
We started saying things at the same time, and I'm sleepy. You're sleep. Well, are you sleepy?
I am. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I
That's
don't know what I am.
That's so fair. I was just going to say, warm to me sounds fairly positive, and I hope it is.
Thank you.
You need anything before you bed up?
I just need you to know that I trust you.
I trust you. I think similar to how they have before, like Finn will get up and he'll just find his pinky wrapping around Cress's and squeezing. Get some rest. It's been a long fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Cress, without knowing it, and it won't really keep because they're going back to bed, but they cast Life Connection unwittingly on Finn. As there is just this sense of sunlight upon you from far beyond up in the clouds. Good night, Fenris.
Night. Takes his cloak off and puts it around them. Pick up the fucking shattered bits of his shield, feeling a sense of warmth from that casting, and just he can't take his eyes off of Cress. Drops the shield. He's like, "Fuck, shut up, shut up!" Scooping it up. Sorry. He'll make eye contact with Cuthbert.
Yeah, Cuthbert just kind of floats.
Sorry. No, sorry. Go back to bed. I apologize.
Kind of
I was being
nestles
a
back
big-
into Cress's hair nest.
Yeah, that's what you. Yep. Okay. And he'll sit with the because he's gonna repair his shield on watch. He also takes out the small bag of stones with some other crafting equipment he has, and he'll start working. While he'll do like a first round of watch first. Once he's done crafting, he'll look again. So do you want me to roll perception first?
What's the modifier?
Your mom. The modifier. I don't know why I just said that. Perception 13.
Okay. Okay.
For perception, correct?
Yeah, perception.
Yeah, 13. So let me.
Noted. Oh, I rolled. Don't worry.
Oh.
Don't worry. I got you.
Can I use that on my crafting check then?
Yeah.
Or do you want me
Yeah,
to
you can
roll
use that
again?
on your. No, you can use that.
Because that's a natural 20.
You can absolutely use that on your crafting.
Which means that my shield is back at full because with the repair action, with a critical success, you restore 10 hit points to the item plus an additional set of hit points based on my proficiency rank. I am master, so that is an automatic 40 hit points back to my shield.
Ooh, that is awesome.
So
Give us, how does it look? How does it look? It's exactly as you described.
I think he sits down and he thinks about the way that Taruk used his hands to trail the tree. And I think that with this wood, the shield was this sort of this big ship wheel. And I think he just starts to take the pegs off of it and starts to shave those down, creating this imagery in the center of the sun. And I think he just begins to craft around and make it the same but better.
Yeah.
And he starts putting these gentle, bright yellow stones around the circular cutout that he's been kind of whittling with the bits that he's taken off of the end. And I don't think there's any magic to it. I genuinely think he is just he's so impassioned. And I think the tail end of this day, from meeting Taruk on, Finn has felt that clarity from his own anxiety and from the way it's been elevated by both the curse and Zephrine. I think that those two, like, Finn has always had bouts of doubt. He's always had, bouts of being unsure of his ability, but they have absolutely been exacerbated and worsened by the curse and Zephrine. So he works and he hears Cress's voice, "I trust you," and he knows it. There's no doubt. He feels their hand on his. He thinks about the anxiety he had earlier in the day, that sort of ill feeling toward Anatole, and says, "They care about me." I am not my worst moment, and that does not take away the truth. And once he's done with the shield, he starts taking out a sea stone, or a river stone, and he carves the words "deep roots" in giant and begins to thread them. And he holds them, and as he holds them, he thinks about what Farron said, that there's a lot of power in us and that you are in control of it. And in that moment, Finn's anxiety and that darkness within him thought, I am the monster. He's not. And that clarity comes, no, Farron thinks that I am better than that. She knows it. I have to know it. He takes out a bit of ironwood and begins to whittle that, etching in deep roots. And Finn wasn't going to approach Zephrine, but he feels emboldened.
Okay.
So I think in this same process that he has before, he writes these words, and with these belts of string, he ties these two stones that are meant to be these like grounding aids for him in times of need. So he is not bringing these feelings upon his friends to sow doubt in them when he is able to take care of himself in that way. And he just thinks, you live within me. I hold you back. You do not rule me. I am made by my grandmother's gentleness, but that does not mean I am devoid of my father's strength. Think to use me as a vessel to harm that which I love, and you will never see the light. I promise you that, Zephrine.
Then you're carving into this ironwood. You're feeling it kind of peel away beneath your thumb. And as you say this, as you speak to Zephrine, you kind of have an out-of-body experience, or rather a more in-body experience, and you kind of delve inwards until you find yourself, as you speak these words, you finally look up and you are staring at a blue dragon, an ancient blue dragon chained in a cave. And you recognize the stakes that the chains are tethered to. They are upon pedestals with runic symbols, glyphs. Some of them you start to recognize. Some of them, most of them, you have no idea what they mean. Yep. As you're still fairly early on in this. Finn, a couple of things that you note as well as you kind of stare up towards the dragon. Some of those chains, right? One of them right? They all seem to kind of be pulling taut, but one of them kind of drags loosely beneath Zephrine. She leans forward, dips down, and you see these bright yellow eyes, the color of sand at sunset, stare back at you. And she says, "You think I am the danger? You won't be able to protect them from yourself. It is a power you cannot wield without me."
What is a power I can't wield without you? The draconic power.
Your inheritance.
You. Your power. Well, I never anticipated you, and I was fine without. He kind of looks at the chain. I'll have to do something about that. Won't I? You might be my inheritance, but you are more my burden. And more importantly, you are not me. I am not you. I wish for the sun to shine. But know that the son of the Owl Clan flies at night. And I will be watching you.
Pretty words, boy. Let's see if you are stronger than your forefathers.
He looks at the chain that is slack and he goes to the ground and etches the rune for restrict.
Roll a crafting check.
Bet your fucking ass I will. Sorry, David. I know I said I didn't want to do this scene.
No, you're good, you're good.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Crafting check?
Crafting check.
Oh, damn. 33.
33.
18 plus 15, sir.
Finn. You move towards that loose chain, Zephrine kind of watching you cautiously, smirking, expecting that you will fail. Does nothing to stop you as you take the chain in hand and you pull it taut. Right? Your muscles, this is happening in your mind, but even in person, your body is so tense. The ironwood bark in your hand begins to kind of actually like squeeze and dent a little bit where your fingers start to kind of squeeze against it, like you're cutting off circulation to your fingers as you're squeezing this so tightly. You pull that chain tight, you tether it, you drag it over your shoulder towards the broken tether, and you pull it around. And as you pull it around, you carve into that stake restraint. The rune, as you pull into it, you channel a power that you feel a surge of power in you that you hadn't experienced since a distant adventure back in a town of Berngarder, where you found a giant ruin, a giant pillar that bestowed upon you the power of your ancestors. There is no pillar here, and yet that power comes to you. And you press that stake into the ground, and you carve the rune for restraint into it, and the chain goes tight. And Zephrine's eyes just kind of open wide and pulls against it. You can see that chain kind of pulls her back down. There's more to you than meets the eye, I see. A worthy opponent, then.
An opponent? I thought we were allies. It's good to see you tell on yourself. My forebears are stronger than your will, and I will show you that. He gets up and walks away.
Okay. You walk away leaving the cave, this kind of darkened desert cave behind you, as you kind of feel the heat of Zephyr's breath behind you, and you awaken. You find yourself holding onto that piece of wood, your hand quite stiff. Time has elapsed, you're not quite sure how much.
He gets up in a panic, like, oh god, starts looking around, making sure everything's okay. He's like, fuck. Shit.
Camp looks fine. Your watch,
Okay, great.
Your watch was also uneventful, except, well, not uneventful, but
Well, but nothing on the material plane
Correct.
Was coming for us.
correct. You awaken with that rune carved in your hand. Your hand, again, quite stiff from how hard you gripped it.
Yeah, I think he's just like shaking it out and just kind of. He'll set about making coffee and getting ready to wake the rest.
Just as you go to set about and make that coffee, you reach over, you place the runes down, you go to kind of gather it up, and you look across and you see Zin kind of staring across the campsite, nods at you, and walks away. Zin kind of gives you a look of acknowledgement.
Can I sense motive?
Sure.
And sense motive is perception, correct?
Perception, yep.
Okay. 16 plus 29.
Okay. With a 29, Zin's not exactly a very cunning or deceptive individual. There is a nod that is both acknowledgement, respect. You know, even though maybe you don't know what it looked like on the outside, I think Zin seems familiar enough with what might be going on to make an educated guess. So there's an acknowledgement there. The other thing too is after a while there's kind of a measured stare before Zin walks away. And I think in that what you get is the calculation of assessing a potential threat. You've heard from Cress somewhat about Cuthbert's reaction with dragons.
Yeah.
You know, you've heard that dragons are territorial, competitive creatures. And whatever competition, maybe you don't quite know the frame of the competition that Zin is worried about, but there is an acknowledgement that you represent some sort of threat. With your 29 as well, I'd say, as you kind of continue setting about getting camp ready for folks to awaken, you see Zin off in the distance in the pasture, going through, looks like martial arts forms of reminiscent of some sort of draconic martial art where the tail is involved and there's slashing of claws. Very power-driven. So very kind of like Earthbender.
Oh, yeah, very cool. Love that.
Yeah. Okay. The rest of you wake up, not much long after that, you wake up to the smell of coffee, the crackling of a campfire. The day ahead of you all.
Are they still practicing when we get up? Those moves?
Yeah, Zin will be busy doing that stuff for a while, yeah.
Okay. Because I think Taruk would join.
Sure.
And would be trying to understand their movement compared to his own movement with unarmed fighting, and would be like essentially he's studying the way that another combatant would fight, so he understands it more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Zin kind of watch it. Zin's a little bit wary as you first join up, but is a practiced in. This is a practice ritual, and refuses to break it. But as you are moving and trying to mimic the moves, will say stuff because your tail is more prehensile ultimately, right?
Yeah.
Right? Zin's tail is that of like a lizard, right? Heavy, scaly tail, right? As you're stepping and you kind of like move yourself to kind of balance on the leg, you kind of feel yourself stumble a little bit. And Zin says, "A tail like mine make this a bit easier. You might have to change a few things."
I would assume so. I've done some hand-to-hand myself, not as good, obviously. I can tell that you're very well practiced. I just am admiring. Sorry, should have asked first, of course, but...
Nah, nothing wrong with it. I'm always interested in the way people fight. One of the few things I actually know something about.
Can I hand him... I'm gonna... Like, he takes off the wooden staff from his back and goes, well, usually I use these, and he tosses it over to him to, like, hold.
Yeah, they, them.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Grabs the staff out of the air, kind of plucks it, holds it, somewhat unfamiliar. So you want me to use this? Let me see what you got.
Oh. You sure?
Yeah, we take it easy on each other. We got a long way to go yet.
I pull the metal staff off my back, and I think what you all see, Farron, actually for the first time you would see this, he grips it with both hands, and you see this like gnarled, almost, there was clearly like a handhold spot, and it was clearly only a staff for one hand, and you all hear almost the bending of metal, like, and it feels like it almost is uncomfortable how this sounds for a moment as this staff snaps back into now being a full-size two-handed staff that he can use, but the wooden one is still fully just a one-handed staff. And
well, that's just not fair, man.
Well, you said I should show you what I got, so I'm kidding, of course not. And he lets go with the other hand, and you all hear the same noise again as it folds back down into the single-handed staff again. And he starts showing them the moves that he uses and how he can like use the tail, and even tries to modify his tail movements into showing how you could use this to gain more power on your swings and things like that.
Okay. I think yourself and Zin kind of trade these techniques for this part of the morning as you guys are just prepping before you guys set out for the day. Okay. Anybody else checking in with anybody? Anything else you guys want to get up to before you start the next day of adventuring?
I'll be really fast. Farron is just kind of fondly watching Taruk and Zin, and if anyone is paying attention to her expression, there's like this new energy to Farron. She's a little bit brighter, a little bit more hopeful looking, and she's sort of broken that hard ranger exterior a little bit with the return of a dear friend.
Russ walks past Farron. Good morning, Queen of Silver Linens.
Quite the title. Difficult to live up to that, but thank you.
You got a nice smile on.
It's really good to see Taruk.
I know the circumstances could be better. Jesus, that looked like it hurt.
Look at him go.
Whoever Jesus is.
Yeah. How did your message go? Did you reach Anatole?
I believe he received it. I'm remembering what Finn said when they told him. They give a little nod. I think it might have been well received.
That's good news.
We could use some good news here.
Let's keep it coming, shall we?
And they will go settle next to Finn.
He immediately was like, close your eyes for a second.
All right.
All right. Hold on. He takes the shield, puts it above his head, and he is having the stones reflect on the fire to imitate a sunrise.
Oh.
All right, open your eyes. Sun's
Press
up.
opens. And it's like the sunlight from the dream enters the real world. And you're making dreams come true.
Look at me, dream maker.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, the old one was fucking wrecked by the Joel, but had an opportunity to make an icon to a bright future.
Well, that one suits you, Sunshine.
It suits us.
Us.
Us?
Oh. Yeah, it does.
And some coffee.
God, you're an angel.
All
I'll
right.
take it.
Coffee and breakfast is had. And with that, your party breaks down the campsite, gathers up their things, and they depart this abandoned barn as they continue on the next leg of the adventure. I think as we're kind of heading out, it's similar to the way we began. You know, everybody's kind of up ahead. Cuthbert in canary form, kind of fluttering alongside Tulka, who's kind of padding ahead, so the two of them kind of leading the rise up the hill. Zin and Chimney standing nearby to Cress, kind of sharing, you know, talking about like where the next, where they want to kind of hit, so then they can kind of navigate to the rendezvous spot from there. Basically saying, you know, we're gonna get up here, we're gonna cross this rise, hit the coast, and then we can kind of cut west. Farron and Taruk walking side by side, sharing a little bit of discussion, and Finn still kind of bringing up the rear. Finn, you see your crew, your party, as you guys are added one member, and the journey continues. And guys, that's where we're going to call our session tonight, and we're going to pick up with the next installment of that journey in a couple of weeks. Guys, if you've been sticking with us, thank you so much for doing so. Before we head out, guys, let's do one round of goodbyes, starting with Elder Taruk himself. Adam, hell of an intro, my friend. Who are you?
Bye.
Where can people find you?
I was told to say goodbye, so goodbye.
Oh, you tell me what to.
No, I'm kidding. Hi, I'm Adam, or Mr. Unearthed. That's MRADDUP. You can find me anywhere on the internet under that name. You can find me maybe somewhere else. Who knows? I said a fucked up thing earlier that I fucked up on. So who knows if I'm going to be there now. But yeah, you can find me all over the internet. I cosplay, I TTRPG, I voice act, I do all the. I'm a man with many hats, and I like to wear them. On to the next person.
Button.
Hello, I'm Button. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Blue Button on social media. When I'm not here, you can find me over on Tales, archived in the Known Realms Telesh campaign, playing Echinacea Belrose.
Alec.
Hey, everybody. I'm Alec. My pronouns are he. It's
Smooth.
there. Everybody. I noticed you there. My name is Alec. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me all places on the internet at Tales Archived. I played Finn Reese for you this evening, and when I'm not firing Adam for breaking NDA, I am the Archivist for Known Realms Telesh, which you can catch tomorrow. After saving the city of Iothalor, the Fated and Co. will enjoy some well-deserved downtime. That's me. Hey,
I'm Hannah. I'm here playing Farron. The farmsteader, the ranger, the elf, the Silver Linings Queen, apparently. When I'm not playing Farron, you can catch me on the sister campaign to this one. It's called Sansi Saga. Catch it next week. I play Pamelia Neckle, everyone's favorite gnome bard. And it's a lot of fun. We're goofy. It's awesome. Tune in.
Gosh. Sorry.
Goofy.
Guys,
Indeed.
God, Goofy got me.
Who are you, David?
That's right, I'm David. Guys, my name is David. I've been your GM this evening. You can catch me here as the GM of Unearthed Inheritance, this campaign, or as the GM of Sansi Saga, the sister campaign. You, Daddy, chill. Fuck you. Well played, sir. Well played. Well played. You can catch me, at least for now, over at Tales Archive, where I play Whistle, the Hobgoblin Fighter, in the Known Realms Telesh campaign. For now. And that's me. And that's been us.
For now.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you in a couple weeks. And goodbye.
Bye.
Deuces.